Hello, everybody. This is Fernando for the latest Las Vegas casino podcast. I had promised I was going to talk about the Tropicana Laugh Factory show. They're located at the Tropicana Casino in my last Vegas trip that I just did. I had very briefly mentioned this when I was last talking about the Brad Garrett Comedy Club, and I briefly detailed the comparison between the two. So when you have a chance, check out the Brad Garrett one to first see what a disappointment that was. That way you can then compare it to this particular podcast where I'm saying that the Laugh Factory one located at Tropicana was much better, had a much better experience there, definitely enjoyed it, had a great time, and I'll explain all the reasons why. So, the Laugh Factory, it's the only one there in Las Vegas with regards to that brand, and once again, it's located there at the Tropicana, which is pretty much on the corner of the south side of the strip, so it's as far away as you can get while still being on the strip itself. Beautiful, beautiful hotel, beautiful casino. I still consider it to be my favorite casino to visit throughout my trips. It's too bad that that place, the Tropicana, does not offer any kind of free vouchers like some of the other places do, like the MGM places do, and which is strange because not only am I a Tropicana Rewards member, but I'm also a Hilton Rewards member because that hotel itself is part of the Hilton program. But alas, unfortunately, I've never gotten any free offers, so I'm not going to stay there. I do visit though, and again, that's why I consider it my favorite one. So the reasons for it are as follows. If you've ever been inside the Tropicana, the first thing that you'll notice is how white and clean everything seems, everything looks. This is because of apparently a recent makeover that the place had, where a couple of years back they completely just remodeled everything and they added a whole bunch of white on the inside. Especially if you go to the check-in area, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful to check out. Also, the casino itself, the casino floor located right as you enter the area there, it's very nice. It's one level, so it doesn't have any other place really to go through, but it's pretty long, it's pretty extended, and I think it has still the best smoke free environment, I guess as smoke free as these can be there in Las Vegas. People still smoke there, but definitely not as much as the other places that I visit. Like if you go to the Excalibur, or if you go to the the Luxor or the MGM Grand, I mean, you'll have wafts of smoke coming in and out of your area all the time. But here at the Tropicana, I guess the unwritten rule is you can smoke, but you'll definitely be in the minority. And so that's why I love visiting there too. Beautiful place. Anytime I go, I always at least make one trip to the Tropicana. And in this case, I added a special feature, which was the Laugh Factory show. I've always wanted to see it there. I was just not able to do the previous visits, and some of my shows superlapping it at night, so I wasn't able to check it out then. But this time, I made it a point 100% to make it my last visit, my last show on my particular visit, and I had a blast. By the way, if you ever decide to go do the Laugh Factory there, before you purchase tickets, be sure to get the Tropicana Rewards card, because when you do so, then you'll automatically get 50% off the actual show itself. Plus, whatever you do in purchases adds towards the reward points on your Tropicana card. So pretty fantastic stuff, even if you're just going by yourself, because a lot of these deals are always buy two get one type deal. No, in this case, even if you're going by yourself, then you'll still get the same 50% off discount. So the Laugh Factory, you have to go up onto the second floor, and you have to actually go through a little maze of sorts. It's pretty hidden. With the Laugh Factory Comedy Club there at the Tropicana, it's not up front. I think they kind of do this on purpose, so that way you can have to be forced to walk through the large casino and think to yourself, let me go ahead and play some slots. But once you get there to the second floor, and once you get to the Laugh Factory, this is what stands out as different than the Brad Garrett Comedy Club. Number one, they still have the same level seats as Brad Garrett's Comedy Club, but in this case, they absolutely spaced them out a little more. Not much, but that little bit does help make the difference. In this case, I purchased a VIP ticket because, again, with 50% off, the ticket itself, even with all the gratuities and the fees, it still came to just a little over $30. It was like $30 and some cents. So I thought to myself, why not? If you can get a VIP ticket for that price, that's phenomenal. To give a comparison, again, general admission ticket for Brad Garrett's ended up costing me over $60. I think it was closer to the $65 mark, if I remember correctly. So compare the two. General admission, almost $65, or VIP, which in my case was on the second row, for just $30 and change. Which one would you pick? Clearly, the obvious choice is the Laugh Factory Comedy Club. And they followed the same formula where they had 3 comics presenting the show, and with the headliner start at the very end, and the frontliner, the very first person out there, the first comedian, being essentially the host of the show. Pretty funny stuff. I wish I could remember the guys' names. They weren't household names, otherwise I would, but in this case they were pretty funny. I guess it's something about having it be at the Laugh Factory, or it's more of, let's say, a starting place for comedians, that makes it seem like they're giving more effort. I guess starting from the bottom kind of deal, where they have to prove themselves, as opposed to like with Brad Garrett's show, it's not really the top level, but it's not the bottom level either. They're there and they've already reached a certain level, and it didn't seem like at Brad Garrett's show, that especially the last one, the headliner, was kind of giving it his all. But these comedians, man, they were good. They were absolutely fantastic. Also, the other thing that I liked about it was the fact that, as I had mentioned with Brad Garrett's, it seemed like it was always a money grab. I had people that were coming by offering that popcorn, people offering the drinks, and then finally somebody coming by and offering the water, which I ended up taking. In this particular instance, the only thing that was offered to me was, when I was seated down, the gentleman, the host, the person there that was placing this people towards the seats, he said, we have a nice bar. If you'd like a nice set of drinks, be sure to be able to go. It's on the corner there. And that was it. And I like that. There was no pressure, in other words, to be able to try to get drinks off of me. And in my case, I didn't get anything there, mainly because I had already eaten before. But if I had, I would have appreciated this less pressure approach than, let's say, at the Brad Garrett's Comedy Club location. And then finally, the other thing I can mention is this particular Laugh Factory. I don't know, it's just the area there. It just seemed much more nicer. It was intimate. This is actually the same place that Murray, the Celebrity Magician show, used to be at. And it seems to be that there really isn't a bad seat in the house, even considering that the floor itself, everything is one level, so there's no rise in terms of these seats. But I didn't really sense anything as far as others complaining about them not being able to view. It probably had to do with the fact that the front area where the comedians were was elevated. It was pretty elevated, not really too high, but not really too low either. So you could clearly see the comedians there. On top of that, there weren't any of those load-bearing columns that were obstructing multiple views like they were at the Brad Garrett Comedy Club. And again, mainly it's probably because that location was located on the ground and this one was above ground on the second floor, but there weren't any of those that I could see as well. But yeah, had a pretty great time. Heavily recommend it. If you have a chance there and you're in Vegas and you want to see a good show that'll last about an hour 15 minutes, and on top of that, it's a good quality show at a great price, because if the VIP tickets were $30, then you're looking at the regular general admission only $15 each. How can you beat that? That is fantastic. And then the headliners and the comedians there, again, they just seem to give more effort on their end, mainly because I still think it's a place where the Laugh Factory is synonymous with people starting their careers, and so it's just that extra oomph, that extra go-to willpower that some of these comedians have, that they seem to be giving more of an effort there than, say, at other places. So, has anybody gone there before? The Laugh Factory there in the Tropicana? And if so, if anybody has likened their experience to mine and said, it was great, please post your comments, share them below. If anybody had a particular bad experience, it'd be interesting to see what people have to say in that regard. And again, the casino itself, beautiful, absolutely beautiful place there. It's definitely one of the best locations I've gone to in Las Vegas. I just wish again I could stay there for the night, but for whatever reason they just don't have the same vouchers. So, alright everybody, thanks again as always. Take care. Bye.